Hello, everyone, and welcome to this live sketchbook tour. Today, I'm going to be actually going through two recent sketchbooks that I have just finished and talking a lot about all of my recent mixed media experiments and Teacup sketching. So welcome, everyone. Great to see you from all over the world. If you haven't already, please tune in and let us know where you are joining us from. Please let us have a chat. Sorry, say hello in the chat. There's a lot happening at the moment. I'm just making sure that everything is going well. Yes, so Chantal is here in the chat to help out with any of your questions and share lots of links. And if I could ask you, if you have a question, if you could write questions at the beginning and put a little bit of context in your question, particularly if it relates to something that I have sketched. I haven't done these live streams for a while, so I'm just making sure everything is working well. It's okay. Let me just, okay, that's good. When the chat stops, I start worrying. I've got to just double check. As I said, amazing to see people from all over the world. So let's kick it off with a question straight off the bat, which is, how is your sketching going at the moment? Are you happy with what you've done in the last month or so? Let me know in the chat, and I can see the chat is moving quite quickly. We have people from all over the world: Brazil, Uruguay, Florida, Canada, USA, Melbourne. Okay, so great to see lots of familiar names, and also a big welcome to everyone. If this is your first time joining me for a live stream, we have a lot of fun. I'm going to be flipping through a lot of pages soon. Hello, Hungary. Yes, great. California, Florida, Alaska. Always like seeing our sketching friends in Alaska. Okay, so as I said before, if you're just joining us, I'm going to be flipping through two of my recent sketchbooks. These are A4 alphas, and I'm going to be answering your question as I go. Okay, and I've asked a question: how is your sketching going lately? Astrid says, not enough time. Brooke says, I only started sketching about a month ago, and I'm learning so much. That's very exciting. Lots of cherry trees this past month in Seattle. That sounds lovely. Sketching's going well from Diane. That's fantastic. Camping coming up soon. Yes, so for a lot of you in the Northern Hemisphere, you'll be kind of really gearing up for sketching in summer. Of course, here in Sydney, we sketch all year round. Sketching away. You fell off from sketching, eager to pick it up again. Jamie, well, hopefully you'll get some ideas and some inspirations today. Karen says she's completed a sketchbook last week. Okay, this is great. Just finishing up your watercolor course. And loved it. Thank you. That's, yes, a lot of you have just been going through the watercolor course, which has been a lot of fun. Okay, let me go to overhead because, as I said, I've got two sketchbooks to flip through today. So I might get going, and I will keep an eye on all your comments. What am I doing? Wow, it's amazing how I get out of routine of these. If you're just joining me, I often do weekly live streams when I'm going through a course. So I've had like a 2-month break almost. Isabel's here. That's nice. Hi from Oxford. Sketching more frequently than in the past. Okay, so first sketchbook, as I said, this is a alpha hardbound A4, so you can see it's quite big, it's quite heavy, but I'm really enjoying filling them up. And these last two I've actually filled in about 4 weeks, so that's a lot of sketching. And what I'll do is I'll flip through the first one. Well, then we'll have a little bit of a break and do some swatches to explain my materials. And as usual, my very first page, I document in some way what I'm using in the sketchbook. This particular book, I decided I didn't even bother documenting my watercolor paints. It's just my pencil collection, which is a combination of colored pencils and watercolor pencils, and then neo colors, which we will be talking about a lot. So alpha is a book by Stillman and Byrne. So before the questions come, I have written out the answer to the 3 most commonly asked questions, which is number 1, what sketchbook I'm using. So Alpha Paper by Stillman and Byrne. It's 150 grams and GSM, and it's suitable for light washes, but I throw a lot at it and it works really well for me. I also do a lot of writing in my sketchbook, so I get always asked, how do you do your guidelines? So I have my own guideline sheet that I use, and this is actually a 7mm grid, and you can see I've actually got some guidelines for this indent that I use most days, and I draw the lines with a fountain pen with Herbin Diablo Mentho ink. I'm going to lose my voice today. Excuse me. Also, I use date stamps for my dates. They're at Southport by Paper Person. And any more questions, sketching tools on my site have a lot. And you'll also notice Chantal is putting some links in the chat. Okay, so there you go. There's those questions answered straight away. Okay. When I started this sketchbook on a very wet, cold, drab day. And it's interesting that the first sketch I did kind of set the tone for the whole sketchbook, which is really to add a lot of color. So right at the moment, I'm super interested in playing with color and texture, and I'm putting different colors underneath my watercolor wash. So this is a theme that I'm doing all the time. And that's something that you will see a lot of, and it's just what the mood I'm in at the moment. Okay, I can see a question already. Why draw in extra guidelines instead of just writing over the guide sheets? Because it looks pretty. Yes, because I like the graphic of doing of the lines as a design element in my book. On this first day, it's kind of interesting as well. They say tomorrow is the day for the big announcement. So if you don't know, I am putting together a new course, Teacups course, which is going to be starting on the 31st of May. And there's more details in the link below. And so as we go through these sketchbooks, you'll see a lot of teacup sketching because I've been living and breathing teacups for the last 2 months. And I've actually closed up a couple of pages as we come along as well. So when I started this sketchbook, I was doing nightly walks and really quick sketches with just colored pencils. And I go out every morning to get a coffee. So normally I get a takeaway coffee and I sketch locally. So that's the spot I sit if it's wet. But this was the second rainy day, so I ended up going into the cafe. So this is a view of the cafe. This particular sketch is actually markers under watercolor, which adds quite a lot of lovely texture to it. So the lavender color that you see and some of this bright blue is actually caused from the markers. I don't know what's happened to my voice. So this is actually the day we did the last live stream. So a bit of a fun day, bits and pieces. Paige and Pat, who is here, she asked me in the last live stream, how much am I using continuous line? And I had to admit that I'm not using very much continuous line at the time. But that question triggered something in my mind that I've been thinking about for a couple of months, which is how to incorporate a continuous line with some shapes. Because sometimes I want color, but I don't feel like I want to do a elaborate sketch. So you'll start to see a couple of ideas here. And so this is now a big sketch out on location in the city. Here in Sydney. This is a sketch where I started with one idea and ended up doing something other crazy, which is the way I like to work. So this ended up including some markers and a lot of colored pencils. So there's two main colored pencils. So this is not watercolor pencils, this is color pencils that are laid under the watercolor and then over it. And this particular blue, I mean, I'm hoping it's coming through okay on the screen, but it's just got this vibrancy about it that I'm loving quite a lot. And a lot of these pages that I am showing you are sketches that I have explained in more detail in my blog as well. So if you go there and you look for the volume 169 tag, you'll be able to find out some more about that. And I just realized I'm not in the circle very well today. Okay, and then here's another sketch of Queen Victoria building, and this is a continuous line. So this is very much a response to last live stream, that when you suggested things, Pat asked me a question, and yeah, so I really enjoy this the ability to be able to flip through pages while I'm talking to you. So this is one continuous line of the corner of Queen Victoria building. So I do love doing these sketches, but in my mind I've been thinking, is there a way to incorporate these with a few color shapes? And then we just go. So as I flip through this sketchbook today, you'll see a lot of these type of scenes, because as I say, I go every morning, get a coffee, get some sun, do a sketch with the same view. And for me, it's just about getting the hand moving, putting some color and some shapes and some lines on the page, and getting my creative juices flowing. So some days I might try and do something different. Other days I'm mainly interested in just doing. So for me, my sketchbook is a playground where I just document my life, and I'm just practicing. I'm just practicing. I'm just creating all the time as a way of just as I said, keeping those creative juices flowing. So sometimes my pages aren't that exciting, but then other times I just throw things on the page and go, oh, this is actually quite a harmonious composition. This is a very red building, and it's very vibrant red, and so that's, once again, I am using a combination of markers, color pencils, and watercolor all together to get this vibrancy that is really hard to get just with watercolor. And I can see a question that you get leakage in the middle seam of your sketchbook into other sketches. How do I stop this? It might be dependent on the type of sketchbook and how tight the seam is, but it's one of those things that you kind of got to live with. Astrid said, do you ever scale large works? No, I do large scale works and exhibit. This is predominantly my art form at the moment, is just documenting my life. Then I was with some friends. We were sketching the Opera House, and I had finished this sketch. I wanted to start the next one, and there was this tall group that came and sat, and they wouldn't go away, and I was getting a bit frustrated, and so I ended up just drawing them over the top. I went, oh, I've drawn so many sketches of the Opera House. I drew these lines in frustration, and then the next one I did was pretty crazy, and so this is now using a bit of, no, this is not neo color yet. This is still color pencil, I believe, as well. So you can see that I'm always trying different things as well. I just love your page layouts. Yes, so often I talk a lot about how I'm designing my pages. Not so much today, just because we've got a lot to get through, and I've kind of talked a lot about them in some of my earlier live streams from earlier this year. So I got some Neo Colors. So Neo Colors is a water-soluble wax crayon from Karen Dash. A lot of people saying, have you tried Neo Color? And I go, yeah, I've got some Neo Colors, but I haven't tried using them. And I've got really no idea quite how to deal with how creamy and opaque they are. So as I start working, showing some of these sketches, I'm acknowledging the fact that I'm still very much in play mode. Including maps is a great idea. Well, yeah, I had a blank page, and so this was documenting our day. with two friends from Singapore. What tips do you have to get past an art block? Well, my tip, which is my strategy, is just to make time and to go and sit and just produce. So that's partly my morning routine. Is like some days I'm so bored with this view, but I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, but I just start, and as I start, I then start playing with different colors. Even though I've sketched this particular view many times, this is the only time I've used this particular combination of colors. So playing with different materials help. Have I ever used watercolor sticks? Not properly. is the easy answer. Here's this idea of a continuous line with some color, which wasn't super successful, but still it got me thinking. Here's another one of this idea of doing a continuous line, then adding just a little bit of color. The teacups are going to start to appear. Here is another one of my evening sketches on toned paper with just color pencil. And this is a, I can't even think what it's called. Vibrating thing that I got, a jewelry cleaner. What is it called? Sorry, mental blank, which I've been using to clean my fountain pens. Someone can work out what that is. Does having a consistent format for the sketchbook help with getting past an art block? I mean, a lot of the time, getting past an art block is a very personal thing for you. So that might help some people. For me, it's just purely doing stuff, but often changing things is actually is actually a good idea. So here's the same view, but look at this. I'm using this crazy pink color underneath it. So that just makes me happy to try different color combinations. Inktense pencil, I have a few of them. I've tried them, but I'm basically choosing pencils based on the colors. So here we go, some more. Super distracted talking to someone, making a new friend. Back in the city, this is a case where I just threw everything at this. This is way heavier than I intended, but it is a very heavy building, and I've wanted to sketch this building for many, many years. So I'm definitely going to go back and do a much lighter color, much lighter version of this. But I mean, that's part of the fun. My sketchbook is for doing experiments and pushing myself and trying new things. Ultrasonic cleaner, that's what I wanted. Thank you, Mowbray. Yes, ultrasonic cleaner. Yes, that's what it is. Thank you. Okay, now you'll see the teacups starting to emerge. So with the teacups that you see on the page, what I'm doing in my sketchbook predominantly is doing teacup sketches just for me that are kind of adjacent to what I'm doing in the course, but not specifically related to the course. I'm closing the ones that are specifically related to the course. So to keep a few things up my sleeve. But you'll notice some more teacup emerging. This was a very experimental day. So this one I actually did the whole sketch kind of with my eyes out of focus, just trying to try loose, a little bit more abstract. I wasn't super happy with it. It was a good experiment. And then this is then when I clicked how to do these kind of continuous line and shape type of sketch, which is to alternate between doing some line, doing some shape, doing some colored lines, changing material as well. So I absolutely loved doing this sketch, which is a little bit distracting there. You can actually see it much better as well. Welcome to everyone who is just joining as well. I am flipping through sketchbook number 169, and I also have a second one to do as well. So just another sketch. I've been trying some gold Faber watercolor pencils from Faber-Castell, which are a cheaper range. I did another version of that building just to understand the structure. You'll see some more teacups. You'll see some more neo colors. I don't know. Maybe that's Neo colors. Maybe I bought some more Neo colors the other day. I don't know. It's a bit out of control, my buying of materials at the moment. Buying a new mouse. And then this was a call that I had with Paul where I write down a lot of notes about all our conversations. And this is the sketch that I did using those gold aqua kind of hobby range watercolor pencils, which were quite nice. So I was doing this while I was talking to Paul. And then later that evening, I went into the city again, and that's when I kind of had this shift. I started using Neocolor One. So Paul said, "Oh, have you tried Neocolor One?" Ah, that's what this is. This is the extra colors that I bought on this day. Okay, so Paul said, "Have you tried Neocolor One, which are the non-water soluble ones?" I said, "No, I haven't." So I went out and bought a few, and I then started doing this sketch with absolutely no idea what I was going to do or how to use these materials at all or how the watercolor would react. And for my mind, this is a really fun way to sketch. So for me, when I'm going out sketching, I'm trying to capture the moment. I'm trying to experiment. I'm trying to push myself, try something new. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But that's the nature of my sketchbook, okay? I'm not trying to produce masterpieces. I'm just trying to constantly keep those creative juices flowing and really be in this state of, ideas in my head all the time. And so that was that sketch, which was a lot of fun to do. Then I tried another one of these continuous line switching between materials. So this is colored pencil and my food aid pen. And I have no idea what that is up there. It doesn't matter. It was a lot of fun. Then I was going to a concert at the Sydney Conservatory of Music. So I did this in the fading light. This is including some Neo colors. Don't ask me which ones. Some markers and some watercolor paint over the top. So this is about a 15-20 minute sketch. And then during the concert, I actually just was enjoying watching the music being performed. That I didn't really sketch. I sketched this at the beginning. So this is that same idea, which I think is really fun. So continuous line, switching between colors, and then putting in a few shapes as I'm working. And it's just a really fun way to do a sketch of a big, particularly a complex scene in a simple way and kind of keep the edges open. And then during the middle piece, which is a modern piece, I just did a few little quick sketches and then decided, no, I actually just want to watch the music being performed. Quieter day. I don't know what day. This is election day. Anyway, don't vote when it's in the morning. So I come later in the day and it's nice and quiet. How's this going? You enjoying seeing all my pages? So, wow. How's the time going? Okay. We might go over a little bit over an hour today because I've got the two sketchbooks, but we'll see. Okay. So same idea, playing with that idea of continuous line, changing materials. So this time it's color pencil and marker. Putting a bit of a color block for those of you who've done sketchbook design, you know that, and a coffee. It must have been raining. Then this is a fun sketch using those same principles, pushing it a little bit more. It's a very, very fun way to work. Okay, good. I get worried when the chat goes quiet. Okay. Love the markers between the pages. Yeah, that's kind of fun too. So, I mean, that's one of the things that would have been quite a plain page without it, but that green just does it. How do you manage all your materials when sitting somewhere without a desk? Okay, so if you have a look on my blog post, you'll see pictures of how I sit. Actually, right at the moment, my strategy for deciding on what to sketch is completely dependent on finding somewhere where to sit. So I'm happy to sit on the ground and then I can spread out, or at the moment, I'm just looking for benches and low walls and things. So I rarely sketch at a table, but I have things next to me on a bench, and you'll see pictures of my setup. In fact, I might even post something to Instagram as well. So if you follow me on Instagram, you might see that. So same, constantly every day, it's the same view, but the same view gives me the license to try something different. I mean, this is a bit murky here, but then I'm you know, doing something different. Okay, good. You're enjoying this is good. So okay, yeah, here is this is amazing. This is like first sketch of the day at 4 p.m. Wow, so out of character. Yeah, so here we go. You can see I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. Is it in the sense that I'm just experimenting? This is a very subtle Sydney Opera House. Can you see the shape of the shells? And then I have bought a few new teacups for this course, and I've discovered this new brand. In fact, I'm drinking out of one of the cups at the moment. And these cups arrived. I wanted to document it, but I didn't feel like, teacups, I'm not in the mood to just sit down and really concentrate. So I just did this really loose sketch. And in a way that kind of set me going, okay, as I'm going to be getting very busy working on my teacup course, I am going to do some loose, no pressure, experimental teacup sketches just for me as I'm going on and each day as a way of just kind of connecting, coming up with new ideas as well, and so take the pressure off, embrace the wonkiness, as I often I often say, and just have a lot of fun. So you'll see a lot of kind of experimental teacup sketches in the coming days. I also went into the city, Wednesday. Was in the city, ended up back at Parker's, getting a few more Neo colours. The good thing about Neo colours, they're not very expensive, so but a few more colours. I did this sketch and I was like, whoa, what happened here? So often I put crazy colours under my watercolour, but I'm normally able to control the intensity by the end. This particular one, it didn't happen, but it was a really great way of getting to know some of the new colours. I think the problem was actually a red Tombow that I'd never used before that had gone super fluoro. And then after that sketch, I thought, I don't want to just draw another building sketch. I actually want to do a looking down a street view, and I want to really tone it back. And so then I did this sketch, which I was so happy. This is one of my favorite sketches in recent times. And I can see a comment there. It's interesting to see things that Liz isn't happy with. To me, it's all amazing. One of the things that when if you're a beginner, you're hard on yourself, and you go, I want to get to the stage where I will be happy with my work. Well, I don't think you ever get to that stage, because as your skills progress, your standards get higher, and your critical nature of your own work becomes more and more refined. And that's really part of the fun of sketching and documenting your life, is that, some days it works, some days it doesn't work, but you've got it all here documented together. You don't rip a page out, and it's all part of that process. And so the further you go on, I think the more critical you are in some ways of your own work. Love the written comment about needing sunglasses. Whoa, sunglasses needed. Okay, good. Yes, I can't remember that. So this particular sketch, I think I actually started here, and I just worked spontaneously, changing material as I was going, and really not thinking very hard about, thinking at all about what I was doing, or even assessing the composition, which is very unusual, because normally I start working, and then, maybe 3/4 of the way through the sketch, I will pause, I will then assess composition and make adjustments. This one, I just did the whole thing intuitively, and really, really enjoyed doing this. The white space, yes, is really fun. Just this probably is my favorite part of it here. But just the some of the decisions that I'm making about not completing things. Why did I change to pencil there? Why didn't I do the detail there? I don't have any answers from that. I'm working completely intuitively. Thank you for all the nice comments. I like I like that you like it. And then the next page, I was really busy. And look, I haven't even rubbed out my pencil lines either. And I'm really flat page, but anyway, so be it. The next page, this was my morning sketch, and I was like, wow, I actually really like the calligraphic nature of my marks. So this is often what that first pass looks like. And I thought this is actually very nice on its own. I'm not going to add watercolor to it. And then this is the corner behind me before I started filming. So this has got all kinds of bits and pieces related to my teacup course preparation, and one of the pink boxes that I keep my Royal Albert cups in as well. And then I went down to Lane Cove National Park and did this. This has got quite a lot of Neocolor underneath it. So one of the reasons I'm enjoying Neocolor at the moment is because it's kind of like crayon and it's free and it's loose, and I'm not worrying about anything. And that's kind of like a nice antidote to all of the kind of focus work that I'm doing for the Teacup course. And do you know, this is the only Lane Cove sketch in this book, and I've got none in the current book, so that's a problem. Yes, getting ready for filming. This is like a fun compositional study of one of the buildings on the village green. So this is like, oh, okay, look at a small thing and just play with shape and composition. Do I wear polarized lenses? No. I don't. I just wear a hat very low. I rarely wear my sunglasses at all. This is a bit of a bit of a messy sketch, but once again, just kind of experimenting with neo colors, and so this is, sometimes I just do a sketch and I go, right, okay, I'm not worried about composition or anything. I'm just worried about seeing how the material works. And working into the went through the paper. Did it? Ah, yes, it went through the paper here, and that's what for this. Hence the silver dot there. Bits and pieces. Okay, so here we go. This is one of my favorite spreads. This is on the thumbnail as well. So this is then when I started doing these combination teacup teacup pages during the day, during the week, doing, as I said, that idea of the no pressure sketching. That's kind of the mood I'm in at the moment, right? So I'm not thinking too much about my work. I'm just experimenting, and so I'm just documenting all the different cups that I use during the day. So during the day, or 2 days. This is 3 days: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yes, there's a lot of hand washing happening at the moment. So for example, this one has got some. Well, what happens if I put neo colors through here? All kinds of fun things, fun notes to myself as well. Do I use a ruler? I never use a ruler in my sketch. I always draw lines by freehand. That combo teacup makes me smile too. So this particular day, what am I going to do? Sitting at the so many things in my mind all the time when I sit and have my morning coffee and sun. So that's, it was just a tree. This is fun. So this was like the overgrown grass. I documented it, and of course the next day it was cut down, so I was glad I did that sketch. Here's a 4-minute sketch waiting for the train, which is using my food A and these markers. So I really love markers. I think it's my architectural background. The pink is fun. Yes, and I'm not going to. I'll talk more about the Teacups course at the end and answer any questions. But yeah, if you missed it, I'm putting together a Teacups course, which will be starting on the 31st of May, and there is a link there to sign up for all the information when it goes live. So here's another, what on earth is this new structure in Sydney? Where did that come from? I stopped to do a 5-minute sketch. Here's also another sketch that's, like for me, this is a little bit got too many layers on it. But the best way to work out how to effectively use the layers that I want and use the materials I want is to do a couple of sketches where, okay, you go too far and then you work out how to pull back. That's the nature of doing mixed media and doing experimental work. So this was really, really fun to do. And there's just some gorgeous textures which are caused by the crayons. So this is the lawn is mown, and so this time I was connecting the green shapes. Okay, And then another teacup page. So this isn't the pink page. I started this going, I am not going to do any floral or any pink on this page, but I ended up realizing that the first cup that I did had some flowers on it. And then on the Friday, I was talking to my sister-in-law about her mother's tea set and a couple of text messages, and then I drew that from a photo. So that's a rare occasion where I drew a pattern from a photo, but this was my cup that I then applied the pattern to. So anyway, so it's just kind of fun to do these type of pages, studying the pattern. That's something we're going to be looking at a lot in the course. And then I did this beautiful page. This is one of my favorite spreads in my sketchbook as well, testing different brands of quinacridone and gold. So, I mean, I hope you get the sense of the wow factor when you turn this page. It's pretty yummy. And so this is me testing quinacridone and gold for green, which is how I often use it. And then it's an important factor in my teacup sketches for the gold trim, and I like it when it bleeds into other washes, so I like a shadow wash. So that's really what I was testing here. I think if the gold trim is down first and then I put the shadow wash up against it, how much will it run into it? And then I did the reverse. So I love this. Testing page is fun. I saw it and was, oh God, it's like, it is pretty amazing, I have to say. Like in real life, it's like, yes, very, very, very nice. And then it was Easter time and I was working most of the time through Easter. So I just did some cafe sketches. So actually a bit of neo color in here. I did have some time with family. So this is bits and pieces from my family. So these are the Woolworths Lego collection, which my nieces and nephews have a lot of. And then my 5-year-old nephew's following, I don't even know, some YouTube tutorial, and he's doing some great jobs. So we now have another cafe sketch, different cafe. Ooh, I don't know what this is, no plan this morning. And then we have another teacup sketch using some watercolor pencils. And that's the end of that first sketchbook. So what I will just do, so that's the first one. And the second is going to be more the same, more neo colors, but maybe I'll just break it up just quickly and show you how much material I'm bringing with myself, carrying around all the time at the moment as I am experimenting with a lot of things. Do I have a favorite Quin Gold? Well, I'm using the original Quin Gold Daniel Smith that's now no longer available. I haven't fully tested all of the other ones yet. So that testing page is just the start. So in my sketching bag that I carry with me nearly everywhere, I have my paint palette. So this is my palette. Description of the colors are on my blog. So my watercolor is always with me, and that's normally the state of my pan. What are the dots on the cover of the sketchbook? Okay, 169. Okay, so that's the numbering. They're just silver stickers. That's my numbering system. So I have that. At the moment, I'm actually using a smaller dagger. So this is the Rosemary dagger 772, but this is the R16. I think in the thing I have a water container. I normally have 2 of those, and a microfiber cloth that I use. So that's my watercolor. That's my watercolor kit that always comes with me. Then in my bag, and then the thing about sketching supplies when you start getting mixed media is that you go through a stage where it just gets more and more stuff, and then you pull it back. So at the moment, I reckon this is at maximum stage. So I have the ridiculous number of, I have like 4 Fude pens at the moment. This is a bit ridiculous. A black, a blue, a urban grey, and a light grey. So that's probably going to tone down. I don't know why I have I have so many at the moment. I have a TWSBI Eco for writing, and then I have this combination of coloured pencils and watercolour pencils. So the watercolour pencils are mainly the Albrecht Dürer Faber-Castell, but I have a whole heap of brands of coloured pencils. So it's Colour Soft, the Caran d'Ache Luminance, Brunzell Colour. So what's that blue that I love? The blue that I love in that brand. I love the 77 and the 50. That's the blue color, and I need a new one. Look at that. That's pretty sad. Okay, and so this is, I used to, a couple of months ago, I was carrying around colored pencil set and a watercolor pencil set, but I've now just mixed them together with a bit of them. And so these are the Sailor Food A pens. So once again, if you have any questions about my kit, please refer to the link that Chantal has just shared. Okay, so you can see this is getting out of control. This is less pencil than I used to carry around, but I carry around a lot of those all the time. And yes, I'll probably trim this down now that I've shared this publicly. How much, how many brushes do I take? Okay, you're going to ask me all these questions as well. So this is then my other brushes, which I'm not using much at the moment. I don't even know what's in here. So this is this is the 1/2 inch. And then I've got a couple of flats, and that's it. That's all I carry at the moment. I'm really only using these two. Where do you get the other colour food A's? I think no. So the green is the 55. These are the 40, and you can get them lots of places. I get mine at Larry Post in Australia, but if you just look for Food Aid Pink, you'll find them. Okay, and then I have now my markers. So this is then in a secondary bag. So if I'm not going out sketching and doing other things, I might not take these. So this is a combination of mainly, oh look, I've got stuff everywhere. Mainly the Gold Faber Aqua Jewel markers and a few Tombow. So these are the same type of markers. They are dye based. They're not permanent, but I love putting these under my watercolor. And I'll do some swatches in a minute. And then these are set. I'm carrying a lot of stuff at the moment. And then these are my Neo colors. Now this is probably not the best system. So this is Neo Color 1. This is Neo Color 2. This is definitely not the best system. These boxes aren't perfect, but I have broken all of my colors in half, so I'm not carrying the full thing. And then that's, as I said, I'm in the maximum stage. So, you know, in a couple of weeks' time, I'll go, I love that color. I'm hardly using it. I'll take it out. I've got two that are the same. Let's make a hard decision which one to use. So that's the process that I go through. And yeah, this is, while the Neo colors are here, let me just show you. So they're soft, they're very vibrant, and they're crayon, and I'm really enjoying like having making my mark a bit different. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to put, like, I'm loving having creamy pastel color as well. So I come and put them. Look at that. Look at it. It's just so lush. And I could zoom in just a little bit. Here we go. Just so nice, just beautiful. And now if I come and put some water in it, it'll go. My brush is probably dirty, but anyway, we get this lovely creamy opaque thing. And as I said before, I'm still kind of not sure what to do with it, but I'm just enjoying using something that is just so different from what I normally do, just making me really happy in terms of being at this moment when I'm thinking of watercolor. So I just thought I'd just show you just quickly what I like doing. So if I get some Neo color and I put some yellow and some blue like this, then I get some marker. I do the same thing. Oops, lost that one. this marker is running out a little bit, but that's all right. I still use them. And a dark blue, sea blue, it's not quite. And then I come in and find a yellow and a blue, a yellow and a blue. We are still on the page. This is color pencil. And that pencil, that blue did not sharpen. Hold on, see if I can find another one quickly. That one. And then see if I can find a watercolor pencil. Okay, so there we have, all I've done is I've just done some random marks in, so this is WC, this is CP, WCP, this is marker, and this Neo Color 2. Okay, and then I'm just going to come and put some watercolor over the top, and I'll show you why I'm kind of getting hooked on doing this, and then we'll start looking through the next sketchbook. So yes, I'm definitely going to go over an hour. If you have to go, I understand, the replay will be available. So if I now come and just mix up some green paint and put it over the top, so this is breaking all of the traditional watercolor rules, right? I know, but for me, sketching is fun, and this is making it lots of fun and lots of and very experimental. And as I said, I still, I'm still discovering ways of dealing with that opacity. Okay, mate. Okay. Well, we'll just go. No, we won't go. We'll do. I'll work this way because this will kind of make my water go crazy. So I'm just going to come and put a few varied washes over the top of this. So this is color pencil, so this is not going to move. So you can see I'm actually creating quite a bit of resist. That's not activating the pencil at all. But this one, if I come and I scrub it a bit, I can pick up the pencil. Now the marker has a nice resist and water soluble nature as well. So we go through there. And then the Neo colors, you ready for it? Here we go. I haven't probably put enough Neo color on, have I? Really, to make this work. But look, the Neo colors can just get completely washed away, but they will also create interesting textures as I'm going. So this is just a little start to get you to see what I'm doing. So in most cases, I'm putting the medium, like the pencil or the marker or the Neo color down first, then I paint over it. Because for me, watercolor is still the most important, so I want to put watercolor on top. I don't want to cover it with other things. Is using these mediums easier to travel with and work on location? It's interesting, actually. The other day, which I will show you the sketch of, I was having a dumpling dinner, and I thought I'm not going to get my paint out because I've got to put the palette and the water and everything. And towards the end, I thought actually at least the palette is quite contained. I had pencils going everywhere. It might have actually used up more room than the watercolor. Yes, it is definitely easier if you've got a few, if you have easy access. That's one of the reasons I'm enjoying them so much is the times when I would normally go, I couldn't be bothered to get my paint out. Like, it is a hassle to get your paint out. I don't know. For me, it's like this mental barrier, particularly if you have a water container. Like if you're actually using a water brush, it's a little bit easier. But it is, to get set up for watercolor, it does take mental barrier. While when you're using dry medium, it's just the resistance is really low. So yes, you're interesting how I'm keep my brush on the page for a very short amount of time. Yes. So anyway, this is then the swatches, and like a lot of things, part of the reason I'm addicted to working this way is because it's getting consistent results it is kind of hard, like the pressure and everything. But you can see that obviously color pencil is the least resistant because I was very light with my stroke over the watercolor pencil. I didn't kind of wash that away. So there's actually a little bit of resist there. There's also some interesting effects going to more backgrounds are going to happen with the marker, and the Neo color is going to go potentially murky and opaque but give lots of texture as well. So that is just a little behind the scenes to some of the stuff that I have been doing in my in my sketchbooks, just to break up, do just something a little bit extra with my sketchbook tour. But I think we need to get back to looking through my sketches, and we'll just see how that dries. I'm just going to come in and move it around a bit more. But there, so there you go. So yes, I have pencils and things everywhere. That's the way it is at the moment, and it's kind of fun. And it makes me smile to be breaking the rules and trying something new and taking risks. So for me, taking risks is the exciting thing. Having a formula and just doing the same thing over and over again, for me, I'm not interested in. Now, okay, let's get back to then the current sketchbook, which I finished last night. So we move that over there. So this now is 170, and I had no idea how to do that dot system when I had a 0 for 70. So you'll notice this one actually has Roman numerals on it. But anyway, okay. You make me want to play. That's when I. David says, can't wait for the mixed media class. Okay, I'm still experimenting, but one day. So the Neo colors are just so lush and fun to play with. So this is this striped cup, which you'll see a lot of. Okay, here we go. A lot of Neo colors in this next book. After saying that, the first sketch that I did was actually just marker and color pencil, and I didn't add paint. Maybe I didn't have my watercolor paint. You can see this cup. I can't show you the cup because it's got tea in it. So you'll see lots of teacup sketches. Okay, so this is a really fun sketch that I did with the Neo colors, using them quite heavy and solid through here. And so it's Neo colors and markers. That's all, I think. And for me, I find it really interesting to do a crisp architecture building with crayons. Like it's just fun. Do you do the writing first or after your painting is done? Well, my writing is this writing is afterwards, obviously. In the night, this is the start, how I start the day. So this is before I do any sketching, but the rest of it is after I've done the sketch. And then the next one. So I actually really love doing this as well. So this is inside a corporate foyer in the city. And this is Neo colors and markers again. I don't think there's any pencils. Yes. And I was sitting in one of these chairs while I was doing it with a coffee table before it. And then this is a case when, I'm not going to get I'm just waiting for my dinner. So I just get a few markers out and color pencil and do that. And I think I actually filled in a little bit of a gap later on, buying some tea. And then now we're going into some of my fun sketches. So this is the state of my desk, typically at the end of the day. Lots and lots of cups, lots of saucers, and I am allowing myself to sketch teacups as loose and as free as I possibly can. And there's a lot of Neo color in that. And yes, there's a broken cup up the back. Joined late, Stillman and Burn Alpha A4 size. Okay, so this is one of the spots that I sit and sketch all the time. This one I really enjoyed because of there's the color that is coming, that opaque and pastel color that's coming under the watercolor as a result of the neo color. So it's just where I am at the moment, and it's a phase that I'm in. I'll probably tone it down, but it's just feeling good for me at the moment. This whole block of text is about the English artist John Blockley, who I'm super inspired by, and this is some quotes written by his daughter Anne, about how he found that he couldn't capture his vision using conventional methods, and so he decided to break the rules of watercolor, and that kind of spoke to me a bit. Some bits and pieces. So actually, this is the hard drive for my sketching now, Teacups filming. I really love it when I can do a fun sketch of a really boring object, and this one particularly, I really just like this sketch, and I really love the colors in here. It's like, oh yes, so nice. Getting new colors and textures by combining the material. This was on a Zoom catch up with my friend Franny. So this was, she was telling me about her trip to London. So this is a London skyline. So that was super fun. I'm just enjoying doing loose abstract markers. This is a neo color and marker teacup. There you go. Just mixing it up a little bit. There's no neo color or marker teacups in the teacup course. Where I'm sticking to watercolor, ink and wash, and watercolor pencil. What devotional do I follow? I am reading through a Bible. I read the Bible in the year plan that has. Oh, I can actually show it to you. It's right here. That has. Where's this from? This is from Bible-reading.com. It's got epistles, law, history, psalms, poetry, prophecy, gospels each day. So that is what I'm going through at the moment. So that's why you'll see all kinds of different versions, parts of the Bible during the week. Okay. That was a random question. I just haven't have there. This is trying to use those techniques on a bigger scene and going up. I wasn't quite sure what I was doing there, but I absolutely love this as well. So this is the other thing too, when you're trying new things, is you have like you do a lot of stuff, and then you kind of analyze which part do I like, and then start thinking about, well, what did I do then? Why do I like it? Why wasn't this as successful? And it's that thought process that is like that. So okay, so I do something here, and then this particular day way too heavy. So that's it. Okay, another one of my teacup sketches, mixed media, complex shapes, the T shape, which is something we'll talk about a lot in the teacup course. I have lots of exciting things to share with you on that page. I have no idea what I was doing here. So it's mine on the filming. So I was filming that day. So this is just purely not thinking, doing it. Then this is kind of fun. So it's a 7-minute wait at the station using markers, alternating between shape and line. So it's not continuous line, but it's still that idea all the time. Back in the city again. I'm going to the city a lot these days. This one, I was not, the near colors were just too opaque and murky for me. But then I look and I go, okay, well, I don't mind this bit here. So it's the only way you're going to master a new medium is to try it in a whole lot of different things. Perspective part is perspective part of the foundations course. Perspective is specifically in the buildings course, but you need to be able to learn how to see edges first, and so that is what is in the foundations course. Do you always have your sketch bag with you everywhere you go? These days, most days, I don't take my sketching gear, any of my sketching gear, to church, but everywhere else most of the time. But it just depends on where I'm going. I will lighten my load and not necessarily take everything, and I might take a smaller a smaller bag. So, you know, if I'm just going to the supermarket, I don't take any sketching gear. I'm going for a walk, I'm going to the supermarket. But most of the time I do. So this is that time, that dumpling dinner I was saying, where I had all these different things all over the table. And this doesn't have any watercolor in it. I really like this section through here. So it's the same thing, just starting, pulling out, I might pull out this, or pull out that. And, you know, I was fortunate. I I had this, and I pulled out a few colors on the table, and then I had my bag in the second chair right next to me. So I was able to pull out my pencils from my bag without having everything. Then another concert at the con. So yeah, same thing. And I managed to find a teacup at the con as well. And then this is kind of like a fun, it was a double, what do you call it? Sorry, mental blank. Symphonic dances for two pianos, with those two pianists and two page turners. It was very fun. This yeah, this one. So this was a case where I was thinking to myself, should I add watercolor to this? And then realized, actually I'm supposed to be in a meeting in 2 minutes time, so no watercolor at all. Then this is a building I've sketched a lot of times, but this time doing it in Neocolors first was really, really fun, because it's so imprecise. So for my mind, sketching architecture when I'm not being precise feels good. It's a very wet day, more filming, more teacups. So a lot of stuff. There's a bit of stuff here that might be in the course, and then, you know, I'm doing this as this pansy. I get the watercolor effect just right. So this, one of the reasons why I just love doing teacups so much is because of the opportunity it gives me to really push my watercolor skills and experiment a lot. Doing Neocolor coffees, must have been a wet day. You're not supposed to see that one, so I'll turn the page. That's all right. I'll share it later, but just at the moment, I'm keeping some things for my Teacup course. I made some comment on a. There is a little bit about mugs in the course, and I made some comment that mugs don't normally have lips, and then just the next day, my nephew had a mug with a lip. And then another Neocolor of that same ugly building, bits and pieces, nothing much. Then this one is a fun one that is really playing within elements of horizontal and vertical blue stripes. I feel like this is so that idea of looking at a scene and then pulling various things out of that. And so that's, I don't know, Neocolor and marker and watercolor. Another one of my Teacup course pages. I picked up 4 new cups from my parents that belonged to my aunt and my nana. And interesting, this particular cup I wasn't that much of a fan of until I drank out of it and sketched it, and now I'm in love with it. Look at this lovely watercolor explosions through here. This is actually ink explosions. These are all the kind of things that I love. Filming a lot outside. No, I'm not filming outside. This Teacup course is predominantly indoor, but I'm drawing that. Those sketches are at home. The same view again. We know this. The same view again. You know, just looking at, think, oh, this might have gone a little bit too opaque, but what about this? So I'm really retraining my brain to think about opacity and creamy washes, which is so different from my watercolor course. Sketching on the train with markers. Some more teacups. What else can I say? Lots of fun colors, mixing medium. So this is just purely, my 9:30, my morning cup of tea, my afternoon cup of tea, doing some sketches for myself. At the rocks, picking up some more Neo colors. It's a bit addictive. I've stopped. I've completely stopped. And then sketching with some. So there's quite a bit of colored pencil in there. So that maroon is the colored pencil as well. So I love using colored lines. So if you're asking about guidelines, here we go. This is the time I bring that sheet back while I have a sip, saying I am drawing guidelines from a guide sheet. Where is my guide sheet? Here we go. I'm going to have a sip. Let me know if you've got any more questions as I'm going through as well, some general questions. I'm more than halfway through this sketchbook. So, oops, sorry, I effectively hid the answer to those common questions. Here's this cup again. So here's another one of those wonky equals more freedom to experiment. So there's times when I just go, right, I'm not going to worry about getting a perfect ellipse. I'm not going to worry about perspective. I am just going to go and just sketch. And I find that taking that pressure off is then the right environment for me to play with some fun things. So this is while I was on a call with my friend Sahita. So we were talking about a whole lot of stuff. So I wasn't really thinking about what I was doing. But, there's, fuzzy Neo color. Okay, that's my pink teapot, which is my favorite. Sketches for myself, such an important task to do for oneself. Okay, and here's another dinner sketch. So the color on this page just jumps off the page. So, one of my strategies for sketching is to arrive early. So I got there early before my friend, so I was able to sketch this. I tried to sketch during Korean barbecue, but it was just too much. So it's just got the hot plate, and that's all. How do you use the guidelines to the sides of a page? Or they show through if there's not solid color on the other side, but if not, so yes, so normally I can see, I don't know, you can see how this is another advantage of alpha paper. You can see how visible that is, but if there was paint underneath it, I would just draw the lines freehand, right? So it's just a help for me. I would just put it to the side and I would draw like that. I know I don't need it, but it's just kind of like a safety net. So just kind of fun very simple continuous line drawing that I didn't get finished. More teacup sketches. This is like doing some analysis of one of those new cups, which I actually haven't sketched yet. But anyway, so this is interesting because the pattern is like only 3 times the pattern is asymmetrical, not symmetrical, and yeah, it's only 3 times on the saucer, but 4 times on the cup. So yeah, another busy day. This is a village green sketch with a difference. I just did the wisteria growing up on the thing. I'm pretty busy at the moment, so like I'm pretty happy with how much sketching I'm doing, even though some days not so successful as others. Another train sketch a bit earlier. Didn't start sketching to North Sydney, so this was really rushed sketch. Another teacup sketching page, so like showing the handle from different angles is also something we'll talk about in the course. International Tea Day, May 21st. Okay, and then this is just crazy. So this is the mood I'm in at the moment. So I have no idea why I started this with hot pink marker, right? Sometimes just like, why not? Okay, so I don't know. It just was that's what I was in the mood for, and so I just went for it. Like this, your sketchbook should be somewhere where you can do crazy things, right? And I had forgotten my pen, or forgotten to fill it up. No, I had filled it up, but I forgotten to put it back in my bag, and I managed to get some blue Sailor ink. So this is a blue Sailor ink, which is fairly water soluble. So just another two quick sketches. This is a very tame sketch. I don't know. This is what interesting. So some days my color scheme's very subtle. This is me testing those, so I will do a blog post about that as well. Another village green crazy sketch, but once again, I'm always just looking. I'm looking for the bits of like, okay, this. I said these trees. What that little swatch test that I did is using that idea of how I did that to there, but it's like just the right combination in there, and then other parts is like, well, okay, I ran out of time. Um, autumn leaves, a few autumn leaves. This was a very busy day, but I managed to do my morning sketch and a teacup sketch, and then I had an appointment, so this is just waiting in the waiting room. A bit more. This is a crazy blue color tea that I've got, but I'll share more about that. This is this week. Remember how freezing cold it was? Those in Sydney on Sunday and Monday. I was sitting on Monday morning in the wind and the freezing cold doing a very complicated sketch with a lot of neo color. So same thing, just experimenting. I was like, why do I pick the coldest and wildest day to do a complicated view? And my app said 11 degrees C, feels like 2.6. Okay, then this is Tuesday, and then this is, I know Diane is here. I saw her message just a minute ago. So Diane sent me a little parcel with some Chinagraph pencils, a packet of Canadian breakfast tea, which I've never had before. So that's very nice. And a tea infuser. So thank you, Diane, very much. So this is very, very nice. And then this is yesterday. So this sketchbook is so up to date. This is last night. Oh, I don't even know if I finished my pages. So this is that same view, but a different kind of combination of it. This is a fill-in at the end of the day. So this is Westfield, just shapes and things. Once again, I started this with neo colors, so I'm still trying to work out where the neo colors and architecture go together and what type of buildings go together. I was sketching this on. There's a cafe just opposite Queen Victoria building that has a bench. This is right on George Street, and like so many people were walking past, looking over my shoulder. Which is super interesting. This is the Hyde Park bench at Hyde Park in the fading light. And this is like a messy experimental page. So sometimes like the lighting was down. I wasn't really in the mood for sketching this, but I used St. Mary's Cathedral as a backdrop to experiment. What happens if I put a lot of neo color on? How murky can I make it? Also, how much can I lift? And how loose that idea of like is neo color for architecture and what scale can I use it? That's kind of the ideas behind what I'm doing at the moment. And then one last Teacup page. I think I know something. One more page. So this is a sneak preview of the new cup. Very, very special new cup I got for the course. And then the last spread I will leave you with is one my nieces and nephews did. So having some markers in my bag that I can give my niece and nephew when they want to draw at my sketchbook is quite fun. So that is the last two sketchbooks. So seriously, it's up to date with there's a page as well, which I'm being cheeky and not showing to you. For doing lots of crazy experiments, having so much fun at the moment. And look, I am not advocating that you'll copy me, right? This is me. The whole point of these live streams is for me to share with you my thought process, what I'm doing at the moment, and really just to bring up to date so you can see my sketchbook as a whole. So there we go. There's the two pages that were on the thumbnail. And really just to encourage you to have fun with your sketches, to not put pressure on yourself to create a masterpiece, but to find a way of being able to sketch regularly and build that practice as you're going. So if there's any questions, just to wrap up. As you can see, there's been a lot of teacups. Actually, I got my niece and nephews to count the number of teacups in the current sketchbook, and I think, well, I then did a count, and it was getting near 70 in the one book. Okay, so it's pretty like I've closed off quite a few pages for you. for you of other things that are directly related to the course. So the Teacups course is really an opportunity to do a deep dive into one subject and to really learn some skills that you can use for other sketching other things, anything at home, even out on location. And it really brings together a lot of the things that we deal with in the watercolor course and the foundations course. And we'll have a lot of fun. If you're interested in my foundations course, please use the link below and sign up for the waiting list before the 18th of May, next week. This is 2023, so if people are watching this, it's a replay. Just go to sketchingnow.com and you'll be able to find more information about the Teacups course. It's going to be a 4-week course. We're going to have so much fun, very interactive. I'm going to be doing 2 live streams like this, which will be a chance to ask me questions and to kind of elaborate on some of the concepts from the course. Yeah, you can see this page just sums up my sketching at the moment, which is just lots of fun, lots of color. I mean, this is the other thing about Teacups, like you get to use every color in your palette. Yes, any final questions? Do you always have your, oh no, that's, I answered that one. Any final questions? Can't wait for Teacups course. Yes, it is. It's been just, I've just had so much fun, and if possible, I'm actually more in love with Teacups now than I was before I started planning this course, because there's just so many things you can learn from sketching them. So that's probably it for today. I've just managed to I've got to get back. Where am I get back? Thank you so much. Lots of questions, lots of activities in the chat as well. Lot going on as always. And I just really want to say that I just hope that you all have a lot of fun sketching. That's what sketching should be, fun. We should be creating things that bring us joy, and we enjoy the process. And so if you're a beginner, I just think it's a journey. It's this beautiful journey. I mean, this is sketchbook 170 of my daily sketchbooks. I've got another 100 of travel sketchbooks as well. So it's something I've been doing for many years that has got me to this point, but I have this incredible record of my life as well at the same time. And so that's really, message is just to keep sketching, have fun, try not to get too distracted by materials. I know I've been talking a lot about materials in this live stream, but the idea is really to get to know them, which is what I'm kind of doing at a slow pace in the background at the moment. Thank you all so much. There's so many beautiful messages in the chat. Thank you for being such a great group. Yes, thank you to everyone who's turned up. It was, so nice to hang out and to share my work with you. And as always, you can go to lizstill.com on my blog and you'll see more detailed articles for these, and sketchingnow.com for all my online courses. We're going to have an absolute ball sketching Teacups in the month of June. Thanks so much for being part of it. See you next time. Now, let's see if I can actually get past my, I can get past my materials and work out how to switch this live stream off. I have stuff everywhere. Okay, good. See you. Thanks a lot. See you. Bye.